Hey guys, it's Miss Sherlyn with the Wayne County Public Library, and I'm the children's librarian here. So today we're going to learn about all of our Antarctic animals. So what we have today, do you know what this little guy is? Good job, he's a polar bear. We have a polar bear, and that starts with A. Polar bear starts with A. P, good job. So you can go polar bear, or penguin. You know what that little guy is? Good job, it's a penguin. And penguin and polar bears eat, do you know what that is? Fish, good job. So we have a fish bucket, because most zoo workers, or if they're out in the wild, they will go find their own fish and eat those. Do you know what this might be? You may have seen some pictures of it. It's an igloo. So you can build these with snow. You can try it whenever it snows this year for winter. You can build an igloo using blocks, or you can just make a round-like shape, but they usually live in these. So super neat. They will actually live in these. And then we have, you know what that is? A glacier. It's a glacier in water. So it's like basically, you know how you put ice in a drink and it floats? It's similar to that. It's just a big chunk of ice that floats in a body of water. So we're going to learn about these animals today. So we actually have a polar bear book here at the library. And it's by Rachel Hennell. So we're just going to flip through it. I'm going to show you some pictures. So that's what the sunset looks like. And there's a little polar bear in snow. And they're popping their head up looking for the little kids. And the polar bears are white. Again, they live in Antarctica. And there's the polar bear. And then we have some caribou. I thought that was really cool. It's written by Joyce Jeffries, and we're just going to look at these pictures too. So basically, caribou are wild reindeer. And in the coldest parts of North America, huge deer travel thousands of miles each year to find food, and they are known for having one of the largest migrations and one of the biggest mammals on Earth. So another kind of caribou goes by a name that people know very well, reindeer. Reindeer are smaller caribou raised by the humans in Europe, Asia, and some parts of North America. And here's their amazing antlers that they have. So they look exactly like reindeer. And here's the Arctic Circle. We have Alaska up here. And then we have Canada. And it's usually right in there where you can find those polar bears. Unless if you go to a zoo, you can see polar bears at the zoo. So the caribou's large size helps support the weight of the body of the caribou in snow. And much like snowshoes support a person's weight, so whenever it mashes down, it just keeps going, like you're able to keep walking. Whereas if you were barefooted, it ain't gonna work. The wide shape of the caribou helps them to be able to swim. And their sharp edges help caribou grip rocks and ice. So like their little hooves, so basically like our hands, that's comparable to their hooves. And they usually migrate. They can run up to speeds of 50 miles per hour. And there's the little caribou babies. And they love to, eat plants. So they are herbivores. They love to eat plants and anything that they can find in the snow, much like leaves, grasses. And they eat more during the summer months. That way they can be able to fatten up for winter. Because sometimes food would be hard to find if you go into the snow in the winter. So the summer months, they're able to eat more because then you have to dig through the snow to find food. And they like to travel in large herds. You have more caribou. And just like to stick together. They love their habitat. Their large hooves help them be able to swim and walk through the snow. And they even look like reindeer. And they're more found in Alaska. So that's our caribou. And then we have penguins. I love penguins. This is written by Seymour Simon. We're just going to look at a few pictures real quick. So here is our penguins. And then we have, they are champion swimmers and divers, but they're not fish. They are not aquatic mammals such as dolphins. Penguins are birds because they have feathers, and only birds have feathers. Like birds, they like to lay their eggs and raise their chicks on the land, but they don't look or fly like most other birds. They walk usually and then slide on their belly on the ice. Some dive as deep as 1,500 feet to find food. I did not know that. That's really deep. Their main meals that they like are small fish. So they like small fish. And there's a few pictures of the little penguins diving into the water. And here's two little penguins standing together. And there's one penguin just keeping the egg warm while the other one goes to look for food. And then there is one penguin with a sea full of the baby penguins. They're swimming. And this is them in Antarctica. That is so snowy. I'm sure that's really cold. So that's our penguins. So we also have snowy owls. Snowy owls swoop down to catch a bite to eat. Do you think that he feels cold on his white feathered feet? I know I would, but I don't know. Do you see his feet? Do you think he's cold or warm? I think he might be warm. He looks really fuzzy. This might have a lot of heat to keep. So our first book we're going to read is Polar Babies, and it is written by Susan Ring. So she wrote the words, and it's illustrated by Lisa McHugh. And it's really super short, so it'll be an easy read. Polar Babies. Wake up, Polar Babies. It's a big day. Polar Babies learn to fish. This polar baby loves to fish, and this polar baby loves to sleep. Polar babies learn to swim. This polar baby loves to swim. This polar baby loves to sleep. Polar babies learn to walk on the ice. This polar baby loves the ice. This polar baby loves to sleep. Oh no! A big polar bear. Polar babies learn to run. Run, polar babies, run! Polar babies run over the ice, past the fishing hole, into the water, and back to their safe den or home. Now, this polar baby wants to sleep. What do you think this polar baby wants? The one that slept the whole entire time? What do you think they're doing? They're getting up and getting ready to go get into something. They're ready for another big day. That is the end of that story. I hope you liked that. So for our next little thing we're going to do, we have 5 little penguins. So I'm going to show you my penguin that I have. So it looks like that. Got 5 of these, but we're going to use our hand. So can you show me 5? Good job. And we're going to start with 1. Can you show me 1? Good job. So I have penguins behind me, and we'll do 5 of those. You can just see real penguins. So 5 penguins. We have 5 little penguins like to dance, laugh, play, and they had fun on the ice all day. One got bored and decided to go explore, and now we have 4 little penguins. 4 little penguins all began to dive. Another penguin left and decided to go explore again. So how many penguins do you think we have now? We have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 penguins. 3 little penguins playing on the shore. Another penguin left. And then there were another one left. So we only have 2. 2 little penguins swimming in the sea. Another penguin decided to leave. And there was one little penguin with nothing to do. And then he's the only one left, so he decided to go explore and find the rest of them. So this little penguin left. How many do we have? 0. Good job. How many to start with? 5. Good job. Our next book is Polar Opposites. I love this book. It's such a good book. It is written by Eric Brooks. So they wrote the words. And it's illustrated by him too. So he also drew these pictures. Alex is a big polar bear. Xena is a tiny penguin. Alex and Xena are polar opposites. They live on opposite sides of the world. Alex lives in the Arctic. Xena lives in the Antarctic. Alex is mostly white with a little bit of black. Xena is mostly black with some white. Alex is shaggy where Xena is smooth. Polar opposites are different in so many ways. Alex gets up late. Xena rises early. Alex likes sour things. Xena likes sweet things. Alex is messy. Xena is neat. Alex is loud. Xena is quiet. Shh. Alex's favorite clothes are bright colored. Xena's favorite are not. Alex pushes. Xena pulls. Alex travels fast. Xena takes it slow. Alex and Xena are very different, but even polar opposites can always meet in the middle. Alex and Xena, Galapagos Islands, June 2010. So they went on a trip together. See you next year. Can you say bye to Alex and Xena? Wave bye. Good job. Okay, I hope you liked that story. The next thing we're going to do is snow. So it's snowing. As you can see, we have a lot of snow around us. So our snow that we're going to do is snow on my forehead. You can touch your forehead. Good job. Snow on my forehead. Snow on my knee. Can you touch your knee? Good job. Snow on my knee. Snow on my glasses. Can you touch your eyes or your glasses if you have them? Good job. Snow on my glasses. It's getting so hard to see. Snow on my boots. Can you touch your shoes? I've got flip-flops, so I'm going to touch my shoes. Snow on my boots. Snow on my hair. Can you touch your hair? Good job. Snow on my mittens. You just wave your hands. Good job. Snow everywhere. Good job. Our next story that we have is by Jan Brett, and it's called Three Snowy Bears. The Three Snowy Bears. Come back! A low-key shouted as her huskies floated out to sea. Oh no! She knew that although an ice floe is a good place to fish, it is a bad place to lose a dog team. Not far away, a snowberry family had just started to eat their breakfast, but it was way too hot for Baby Bear. Yowie! Yelled Baby Bear. My breakfast burned my mouth. Well, we'll go for a stroll and let the soup cool, Mama Bear said. A Loki was running along looking for her dogs when she came upon the biggest igloo she had ever seen. Who lives here? She wondered. A Loki just ducked right inside. Right away, she smelled something delicious. Across the room, she saw a big bowl, a middle-sized bowl, and a small bowl. Surely, the good smell was coming from those three bowls. A Loki took a sip from the biggest bowl. Ow! She cried out. Too hot! She took a sip from the middle-sized bowl. Ew, too cold. She tipped the teeniest, littlest bowl and drank every drop. She said, not too cold and not too hot. In the next room, a Loki spotted 3 pairs of beautiful boots standing in a row. She put on the biggest boot. Too big, she said. She put on the middle-sized boot. Too fancy, she said. She put on the littlest pair. Just right, she said, wiggling her toes in the soft fur lining. A Loki walked into the last room and found a long sleeping bench piled high with fur covers. Heat from an oil lamp warmed her cheeks and made her sleepy. Time for a nap, she thought. She crawled under the highest mound of covers. Too lumpy, she grumbled. She tried the middle bed with the furry fringe cover, but sank down so far that she could hardly breathe. Too soft, she said. She rolled over into the smallest sleeping place. The furry blanket was cozy and warm, and the pillow was just her size. Just right, a Loki murmured, and was asleep before she could take her shoes off. If a Loki hadn't fallen fast asleep, she might have heard her dogs barking happily. Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear had spotted them adrift in the strong current and gone out to save them. The Snow Bear family was pushing a Loki's dog team back toward their igloo and to safety. Papa Bear crawled into the igloo and saw his big bowl sitting in a pool of spilled soup. Someone has been tasting my soup, he roared. Mama Bear rushed in and saw that her soup had been sloshed around too. Someone has been sipping on my soup, she growled. Someone found my soup, sputtered Baby Bear in her high squeaky voice, and they ate it all up. Papa Bear ran into the next room and saw his boots lying in the middle of the floor. Someone has been trying on my boots, he boomed in a big bear voice. Mama Bear put on her fancy boots. Someone has had these boots on, she huffed, and the fur is bunched up. Baby Bear saw that her boots had disappeared. Someone has been taking my boots and left behind these not-so-good ones, she wailed. The three bears ran to their bedroom. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," Papa Bear bellowed. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed too," Mama Bear cried. Baby Bear peeked in her little bed and squeaked, "Someone has been sleeping in my bed and here she is." Loki opened her eyes and saw three bear noses only inches away. She hopped out of the bed and dove between Papa Bear's huge furry legs. Quicker than a seal, Loki ran from room to room until she burst outside. Her huskies bounced around, barking and smiling their doggy grins. Loki and her dogs flew over the frozen ice, dodging ridges and cracks. She looked back to wave a thank you to the bears. She couldn't see them, but she heard a big, gruff voice, a middle-sized voice, and a high, squeaky voice calling to her. "Bye! Bye! Bye!" There's the bears, just having fun. I hope you liked that story. I thought that was really cute. So our next thing we're going to do is we have a little owl. And we're going to start with 1. Can you show me 1? Wiggle it. Good job. And we're going up to 5. Can you show me 5? Wiggle it. Good job. So we have one little owl that we're going to start with. One little owl when the moon was new. Along came another owl and that made 2. Good job. 2 little owls perched high up in a tree. Along came another owl and then there were 3. Good job. 3 little owls flew to the barn door. Along came another owl and that made 4. Good job. 4 little owls lined up side by side. Along came another owl and that made 5. Good job. 5 little owls hooted hoo, hoo, hoo. They all flapped their wings. Can you flap your wings? Good job. They all flapped their wings and away they flew. Good job, y'all did so good with that. Okay, for our next story that we have, I'm going to show you this cool little book that we have. It's called One Day on Our Blue Planet in the Antarctic. So it's by Ella Bailey. And there is all kinds of animals in the Antarctic. We have all kinds of animals. As the day breaks on the Antarctic continent, an Adele penguin chick waddles along the frozen coast. She weaves her way across the nestling grounds to where her parents are calling for her. Now she is old enough, this little penguin will head out into the vast Antarctic Ocean. Her mother feeds her one last meal before she sets out across the ice. She passes emperor penguins heading inland to their own nesting grounds. Until finally she reaches the water's edge. There's nothing left to do except jump! She cannot fly, but in the water she is as swift and as graceful as any bird in the sky. Her streamlined shape makes her an excellent swimmer. She travels many, many miles each day in search of food. Through the open southern waters where giants swim. And deep under the ice where a colorful world lies hidden. Here she finds plenty of krill, fish, and squid to eat. But she has to avoid other ones. Whew, she made it, narrow escape. She heads farther north where she discovers furry seals and strange, colorful penguins. It may be many years before this young chick returns to solid land. Until then, her thick layer of fat keeps her warm throughout the short winter days. And during the long, bitter, cold nights where she rests on floating ice, and until a new sun rises on another day on our blue planet. And here is under the ice in the Antarctic. So we have seals, we have silverfish, we have whales, we have dolphin, we have a squid, we have krill, and we have a porpoise, more seals, a humpback whale, and a toothfish. I hope y'all enjoyed that story. I like that one. So for our next little thing we're going to do, can you show me the itsy bitsy snowflake? We're going to use our hand as an itsy bitsy snowflake. So the itsy bitsy snowflake fell down from the sky. It landed on my nose and it bounced upon my eye. It slid down my chin and then it landed on my tongue. And then it melted away and now the snowflake song is done. So we're going to do that one more time, okay? Can you show me a snowflake? The itsy bitsy snowflake fell down from the sky. It landed on my nose and bounced on my eye. It slid down my chin and landed upon my tongue. And then it melted away, and now the snowflake song is all done. Okay, so our next story is Be Brave Little Penguin. And it is written by Giles Andre. And the pictures, she did the pictures of the penguin and the sky and everything in the book. It's illustrated by Guy Parker Reyes. So he did the illustrations. In the cold Antarctic sunshine where the icy ocean ends, lived a family of penguins with all their penguin friends. There were fat ones, there were thin ones, there were penguins short and tall, but little penguin Pip Pip was the smallest one of all. And while the other penguins were out swimming wild and free, little Pip Pip played alone, too frightened of the sea. Names like Scaredy Pip Pip echoed in his ears. He was sad and he was lonely, but he couldn't show his tears. That's not very nice of them to call him names, is it? What's the matter, Pip Pip? Said his daddy one fine day. You can't be scared of water. What a silly thing to say. Be gentle, said his mommy, taking Pip Pip by the hand. We all have certain fears that might be hard to understand. Come on, Pip Pip, dip your little toes in here just so. The water's calm and still now. You can do it just nice and slow. But what if the water's freezing? Mommy, what if I get in and it's just too dark and deep for me? What if I can't swim? And what if there are monsters who smell me from their den and they slither up and eat me and I'm never seen from again? I understand, little one, said his mommy with a kiss. But Pip Pip, what if now you try to think of it like this? What if in that water there are friends for you to meet? And what if it is light and warm and full of treats to eat? Take my hand, little one. Don't worry, I'm right here. Please trust me, little Pip Pip. Be brave and never fear. Slowly, Pip Pip made his way toward the water's edge. He stared down at the icy ocean from the slippery, icy ledge. Then he looked back at his mommy, and as his small little heart thumped, he closed his eyes and he held his breath, and little Pip Pip jumped! Splash! For a while, his mommy waited, and then she cried out, "Something's wrong. Pip Pip, please, where are you? You've been under way too long." So she leaped into the ocean, diving into the deep blue. Then suddenly from nowhere came a little voice that she knew. Mommy, Mommy, over here. Hey, Mommy, look at me. I'm swimming, Mommy, swimming. Look, I'm swimming. Can't you see? She turned and spinning circles through the water, bright and clean. Swam Pip-Pip with the biggest smile the world has ever seen. And as she watched her little one right there before her eyes, he burst up through the surface and he soared into the skies. Wahoo! Cried little Pip-Pip. Look, Mommy, I can fly. It's really not that tricky. You should try it, Mommy, try. Oh, Pip-Pip, laughed his mommy as she watched him with a grin. I don't know about flying, but oh my, you have learned to swim. Then all of his friends all gathered around as Pip-Pip landed with a bump and said, sometimes all you have to do is just be brave. And jump. Now, I hope you like that story. And there is Pip-Pip in different little stages, and he's on the glaciers that we talked about, the little pieces of ice floating in the water. And that is the end of that story. And I hope you enjoyed our stories today. For our craft that you're going to do for our Antarctic theme, we have a snowy owl. So snowy owls are usually white. They have yellow eyes. And for this, you should get a plastic little cup. It's a styrofoam cup in your bag. And what you're going to do, you're going to take the little feathers and just put them in the side of the cup. You can mark on the cup like I did if you want to, just to look like it's feathers. And then they have a little beak and little eyes. Now you'll have to draw the little black circles on the yellow eyes because that's how it makes eyes. Or you can put little dots, either way you want to make it. And then you can send us pictures at the library. And then you'll get a snowflake ornament that you will get to decorate, or you can leave the way it is. And you'll get a little string that you can fix it with. So it looks like that. And then you'll get a polar bear. And for the polar bear, here's the polar bear's head, and here's the polar bear's nose and mouth. So you can trace this, you can color it, make it any color polar bear you want it to be. If you want it to be normal, their nose is black, their mouth outline is black, and then their eyes are black. And you can color in like little pieces of their ear, maybe a chin if you want to. Or you can do it any way you want to. I just didn't have time to do mine. And then that's what you'll get in your bag. And I hope you enjoyed us for our Antarctic theme. And I'm going to see if we can't get some northern lights up behind us.